Welcome to the Good Food CFO podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Delevan, once again joined by our producer, Chelsea Steer.
Hey, Sarah. So we have come to the end of season 11 here on the podcast.
Yeah, Chelsea, what a season this has been. Oh my goodness. If I'm thinking back to everything we've covered this season, we had a conversation about AI. We talked quite a bit about industry consolidation. We finally had a conversation about co-ops and employee ownership. And of course, we talked about financial foundations like cash flow and margin and profitability. And we highlighted how three different founders are doing things differently in our fan favorite Baba Yacht episodes.
Yeah, and now here we are. It's the beginning of September, and you know what that means. Q4 is knocking on our doors.
If you are watching on YouTube, you can see me shaking my head right now because here's the deal. I do not like talking about the winter holiday season any earlier than I have to. But the truth of the matter is, this is a very important time of year for food businesses. The holiday season is a huge revenue opportunity for many food businesses. And, I've talked about this before on the podcast. If we are not planning ahead, if we are not heading into holiday season, with clear minds and clear visions of what we're doing, we can come out the other side having earned no profits, right? And what is the point of working so hard, selling so much of your wonderful product if you have nothing to show financially for it? So today, despite my wishes, the right thing to do is to spend a short amount of time in this segment sharing some resources that we have to help you prepare for the gift giving season. And then you'll also hear my conversation with a recent CFO Office Hours attendee. Her name is Kate. She's the founder of Savorista. And we're talking about how our work together is going to support her in having her most profitable Q4, but also a profitable business going forward.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, Sarah. But I do want to add that the other reason that we're talking about holiday prep today is that, as we said at the top, this is our season finale, and we're actually taking a little bit longer of a break between seasons this time.
We are. I mean, we try to practice what we preach, right? And Baba Yacht, like we we work on that and strive to do that here in our business as well. It has been a really wonderful summer. It has been a very busy summer. I had the opportunity to spend time with family and time out in nature. And I know that a lot of you listening have also been traveling. I want to say thank you to those of you who continue to listen to us week after week during your busy, summer season. But we also recognize that some of you aren't able to listen every week like you normally do.
Yeah, we historically pretty much every year see a dip in listenership during the summer. You guys are trying to have just as much fun as we're having over here.
Yeah. So we're going to be taking, as you said, Chelsea, a little bit of a longer break. And so those of you who aren't caught up will have time to catch up. And those of you who are caught up, we've got some resources for you to get a jump start on the holiday season prep.
Yeah. So to be totally clear, we are going to be off for the next 3 weeks. And our season 12 premiere is going to happen on Monday, September 30th, which basically is the start of Q4. So as I started this whole spiel about, that is the other reason that we are talking about this today.
Yeah.
So Sarah, before we get into like all the resources that we're going to be sharing today, I would love for you to tell us actually a little bit about your conversation with Kate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So we talked a lot about why I asked Kate onto the podcast, like in the main episode, but I'll share a little bit about that here too. So many, I mean, really every founder who comes to office hours, I think makes the most of their time there. Kate was one of those founders who really just actually showed up before day one with data and like really ready to do the work. And the topic that she dove into during office hours, her shipping offer and her subscription offers, felt really timely. So we invited Kate onto the show to talk about her process. As we discussed in a recent episode, critical thinking is something that we are trying to teach here, right? Something that we think is really important because there is no one size fits all way to build a business. There is no one size fits all shipping offer or subscription offer. And so I really thought that having Kate here to talk through her process, talk through what the 4 weeks in office hours were like and where she landed in her critical thinking and decision-making process could be helpful, insightful, and perhaps inspiring to the founders who are listening.
Yeah, I know when I was listening to this episode, number one is that I don't ever get to go to office hours, right? I get to go to all the live events, the book club, the member events. I'm here on the podcast, but that's the one thing I don't get to do because I don't have my own business, right?
Yeah.
So it was really fun to listen to you and Kate talk about the work that you did together and to really have a better understanding of what that looks like in office hours. And then the second thing I want to highlight from this conversation is there was a moment where Kate was talking about some scenarios that she was kind of playing through as she was working through this whole process. And in one of those scenarios, she was really looking at what would happen financially if she lost customers.
Yeah.
And she said something that I've heard many times before here in the Good Food CFO universe, if you will, right? Even in a scenario where she would lose revenue, she still saw that her profit dollars grew.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you pulled that out as like something to highlight from the episode, because you're right. We see it when we talk about businesses that are right sizing, right? Trying to not serve everyone, but to serve the right customer at the right price point and the right profit margin and the right channel, right? And so you may see either steady revenue or a decrease in revenue, but an improvement to your profitability. And I think it's a very scary thing to think about, quote unquote, losing revenue, but you can do that and increase your profitability, not just in terms of margin, but in actual dollars. And Kate is sharing that, as you mentioned in the episode. And I think as many times as we can talk about that and the different scenarios in which that plays out, the better.
Yeah, totally. And I would just say that if you're listening and you want to dig into like this same kind of work around your shipping offer, you can start by going back and listening to, this is our first resource here, episode 26. It's called How to Create a Profitable Shipping Offer.
Yep.
It's going to be a really good listen just to get your mind kind of start to turning around like what you can be doing in terms of shipping. Or even how your current shipping offer might be affecting your business in ways that you don't realize.
Yep.
And then from there, if you want to really start to make changes to your shipping offer, again, especially as we head into the holiday season, I would also suggest taking or creating a profitable shipping offer workshop, which is available on our website.
Yep. I think that's a great recommendation. And you bring up a great point. Like somebody might be listening and thinking, well, we've had our shipping offer forever. It's fine. Like we're not going to change as we head into the holiday. Remember that shipping rates can change as we head into the holiday. Your shipping offer may or may not be profitable. And so if you've got more people, taking you up on that offer, it could have impacts that you aren't anticipating on your profitability. So it is just a great time to do a check-in to see if a change could be helpful, or if you're all good.
And then lastly, if you've gotten through that workshop and you still feel like you want some support or you want to like talk through the numbers, you can always join Sarah in office hours.
Yeah.
You still have time to join our September session. That one is going to be starting next week on Thursday, the 12th. Or if you need a little bit more time, maybe you want to work through some of all this stuff first before coming to office hours, you can always join our October session. That one is starting on Thursday, October 10th. And passes for both of those sessions are available on our website.
And something that Kate talks about in this episode is the value that she got from having not just feedback from me around the financials, but feedback and insight from other founders. And I think, as you say often here, Chelsea, like we work in silos as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and founders. And when you're trying to make a decision about, okay, here are some options that I have, and I just want to talk through this, or I want to get some people's feedback on, what they may have done in their business, office hours is a great place for that as well.
Absolutely. So, Sarah, besides shipping, what else should founders be thinking about as we head into and they start preparing for the holiday season?
Yeah. I mean, bundles and discounts immediately jump to the top of my mind, right? The holidays are the season of gift giving. And so people love to bundle products together. People, love a gift basket, right? They love a sample pack. It's really nice to give sort of an abundant gift to someone. And so as a CPG founder or a food founder of any kind, if you're thinking about bundling your products, there's actually some strategy that I love to take into the process. You can think about the strategy of like high profit and low profit products coming together in a bundle, right? To really offer value to your customers. You might take the strategy of taking your highest margin, kind of most profitable products and putting those together in a bundle. So you can offer a pretty deep discount and still make money on the product. So we've got a really simple bundles calculator where you can pop in the cost and the price point of all of your products and then kind of do the work of building bundles and seeing how profitable are they. There's even the option to add in, special ribbon, special box, special filler, like the costs that are associated with those things. So you can really see the total cost of this bundle product that you're putting together. The next place we go to is discounts. And the reason I think discounts need a little bit of attention is because it's not a one-to-one relationship between the discount you give and the loss of margin that your product has. So for example, if you're doing a 10% discount, it doesn't mean that you're losing 10% of the profit margin on that product. And so sometimes when you're thinking through like how deep of a discount can I give or what will work for my customers, A, it might be different for different product lines, different packages, things like that. And B, maybe you can give a little bit more of a discount than you originally thought you could and still be profitable. Maybe you can't give as much of a discount as you thought and still remain profitable. So it's just good to do a check-in and really know what the effects of your bundling and your discounts are going to be as you head into the holidays. So we also have a discount calculator that I love for folks to use at this time of year.
Totally. And with the bundle and discounting tool, as well as I would say the shipping workshop, with all of those, you're going to get step-by-step guide videos with you, Sarah, as well as those calculators and all the resources that they need to work through any of that planning.
Exactly.
But before they do any of that work, like where should a founder really start the planning process?
That is a great question because I think it's very easy and pretty typical for people to just go, oh, I gotta have bundles. I must discount. I have to participate in these special, shopping days in order to maximize my revenue over the holidays. But as I've talked about in previous episodes, and I'm going to call out a resource here, episode 78, if you don't see episode numbers on your podcast player, which some of us do and some of us don't, the title of the episode is Planning Your Most Profitable Q4 Yet. I've talked about in that episode how during my food sourcing days when I was working at a catering company, we had a very busy holiday season. We worked our tails off. We reached the point where we were like, oh, we're at max orders. Whew, we're done. Great job, everybody. And then more orders were accepted. Our entire plan that we thought we had was thrown off. Our communication got worse. Our spreadsheets got broken. Our ordering got confusing. Just everything went kind of to shit, if I'm being really honest with you. And at the end, when we were sort of reviewing the numbers, like how was our Thanksgiving season, we weren't profitable. And it was not something that we shared with the whole team, but because I was involved in the numbers of the business, I was able to see it. And it was like all of that work, all of those extra hours, the overtime that people put in, it didn't pay off in the end for the business and for the founders. And so that experience really makes step number one for me creating a vision for your holiday season. You have control over if you discount or not, and utilizing the tools that we mentioned are going to help you make that decision. Maybe you will for some things, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll do one sale, maybe you'll do none. Like you have control over that and must do what is best for your business. You also have control over the days and the hours that your physical store is open or how long your online store stays open and accepting orders for shipment right before the holiday. I think as Baba Yachts, we have to think about ourselves and our team, right? The health of our people as well as the health of our bank accounts. And so setting some boundaries, setting some goals and striving to reach those, and then being satisfied if you do, if going beyond those goals means overtime hours for your team members, or, spending more on certain things, or ordering last minute items to be able to fulfill an order. All of those things burn people out, kind of, create some chaos within the business, and also lead to less profitability over the holiday season.
Yeah. So it sounds like what you're saying is that people should, and don't judge me for saying this, Baba Hot.
Build a business. Wait, is that right?
Oh,
Is that right?
Bahabat.
Yes.
Building a holiday on your own terms. Bahayat.
There you go. I
Yeah,
think you got
okay.
it. Yes, they should build a holiday on their own terms, Chelsea. They absolutely should.
Awesome. So what we're going to do to support that is we're going to link to all of the resources that we just mentioned in the show notes so that you can pick and choose which ones you want to utilize. We're also going to have a link in there for office hours if you are looking for some more hands-on support or camaraderie, right? Connection, collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. With some other founders, your peers, you can do that as well.